rejected 8 marriage proposals, and I was crying after I realized that my ex was marrying another woman. So please bear with me and give me some advice in the comment section. And let's just go down to the story. In a heart-wrenching story from Shandong, a 38-year-old woman has found herself spiraling into an emotional distress after receiving the shocking news that her longtime boyfriend, whom she had rejected multiple marriage proposals from, is marrying someone else. For years, this woman, whose name has not been disclosed, was courted by a man who seemed unwavering in his love. Despite his repeated proposals, 8 in total, she declined each time, unsure whether she was ready to make the commitment. Her boyfriend, referred to as Mr. Chang, initially accepted her hesitance with patience, but the final rejection left him heartbroken and uncertain about their future together. The woman had always insisted that Mr. Chang prove his dedication to her by proposing repeatedly. Initially, he didn't understand her request, but eventually complied. Each proposal, full of sincerity, was met with rejection, and as the number grew, so did his feelings of doubt. Despite this, Mr. Chang maintained his belief that the woman was the one for him. After the 8th rejection, I would like to know in the period of the frame time that he proposed for those 8 times, Mr. Chang made a life-changing decision. He realized that he could no longer wait and decided to move on. He eventually got engaged to another woman, a turn of events that hit the woman like a bolt from the blue. Upon hearing the news of his marriage, the 38-year-old broke down in tears. And by the way, being 38 and having this kind of situation in China must be very dramatic, since you were dating this one guy that you rejected and now you're 38, and it's just easily can be called just a leftover, all of a sudden you were you could be the bride to be, and you are leftover one from one day to another. Okay, he always said he loved me, but I'm not the bride, she sobbed. Unable to process the sudden shift in her romantic reality, her friends, Miss Yue, who witnessed the emotional collapse, expressed concern over the situation. She's 38 now. She's waited so long for him, but now it seems too late, Miss Yue noted. Her heart is broken, but what can we say? She had her chance. Exactly. Netizens quickly weighed in on the emotional turmoil, some expressing sympathy while others felt the woman's actions were misguided. One user pointed out, "If it were me, I would have been gone after 3 rejections. This man proposed 8 times. How much more proof did she need?" She was the one who lost out. Others agreed nothing that waiting too long in a relationship often leads to missed opportunities. Life doesn't wait for you, another commenter noted. You can't keep living a dream while real love passes by you. But what led to the woman's actions? Reports suggest that she had been hesitant to commit because of her past emotional scars, possibly stemming from a failed marriage. Okay, she was previously married. She needed more security and assurance before taking the plunge again. However, by putting her partner to the test, she unknowingly pushed him away. While the idea of testing someone's love with repeated proposals might seem romantic in films, it proved disastrous in this case. I think it's just very, very disgraceful for the guy. It's just not respectful. Let's read some comments. You played with a man's heart just because you could, then you lost out. Congrats to the man for walking up and smelling the coffee and finding a woman worthy of him. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Time to buy a cat. She will need a whole farm of them. He was her plan B, and supposed to linger in the shadows while she tried to marry up someone she deemed more valuable. The story has a happy ending. He saw through her scheming, and that's it. What was the thinking? What was she thinking? That the man is a robot? Even a robot will fed up after the second attempt. Why do you play with someone's feelings off if you think you loved him too? She allowed her past to control her future. No sympathy for my side. She deserves what she got. Next time she will learn more from that. 8. A real man asks just once. If the answer is no, he will move on. The idea of testing love might seem romantic in films. To whom? Now you are 38. No one will want you. Serves you right. Wow. Oh my God. Leftover woman. Jesus. You gotta be prepared to advocate the future. He was. Oh my God. This is just like, I mean, I'm not very surprised because in China it's very common that women are kind of entitled. They will just feel like he needs me, it's not me need him, so therefore I can just be as stubborn or like as whatever I want because he will still be here or he will still plead to marry him or will just beg me to be his wife or just not leave him, you know. But it happened. This just reminds me of when I was living in China. I was also dating this one guy, and we had kind of a not very healthy relationship. Anyways, I just kept we kept breaking up, and I just was expecting him to look for me and to like how to call it, to just make up again, you know, like once again to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Although some of the things were his like mistakes, since for example the first time I got really angry and I didn't want to be any more with him was because he hid from me that he had children, and since he was living for a month in China, I was really couldn't be very aware of that since I met him in the market area. And after a month, a whole month, somehow I realized that, and I was just like, no way. That was the first one, and some others were like he just kept hiding cigarettes and kept telling me like he quitted smoking. Nonetheless, he didn't quit, and that annoyed me because I felt unrespected. And just so on and so on. Anyways, that just makes it a little bit toxic, this cycle where you break up and you expect him to come back. Just like in this one, you rejected him and you expect him to keep proposing to you. In this case, I really liked him, and I think I had some love for him, although I was not really aware. I was sure he was not for me because the whole thing with the family was very difficult. Nonetheless, I really appreciate him and respect him till now, and I get to find him from time to time in China. I found him a few years ago, and we are still we end up in good terms, you know, because I helped him a lot for his business and he also helped me. So we don't have that kind of bad energy towards each other. Nonetheless, it just was not meant to be, and he was very nice with me. I guess I knew he was not for me, so therefore just maybe like her, somehow I didn't want to lose him, but somehow it was a match for me, so I just was breaking up and missing him, and he will miss me, and he will come and he will say like things will change, he will change, but people don't change much, so things didn't change much, just the relationship ended. So what I want to say is like whenever these things happen, as soon as they start, it's very hard to end up this toxic cycle of like either breaking up or rejecting and then coming back together. It was just like this case where he got rejected and somehow they kept dating, so that was a little bit weird. And as I was saying, it's not very uncommon for Chinese women to feel just very entitled, since it's not even their fault, I guess. It's just the whole country and society's responsibility that since the one child policy, policy they were born so very few of them, and they are very wanted nowadays to just be wives of the so very many men, like have wanting to have a marriage, since they are very, like, I don't know what is the ratio, but it's just very very few girls for so many men there, and therefore you kind of feel entitled that they need you and they will stand up whatever attitude you have. But that's not the case. Like, you have to really be careful and mature about your behavior, because sooner or later you will be just cut out. You can be cut out. So now I am very down to earth, and I wish next time when I am like going out with someone, I will not start from the love scenario or the romanticize the whatever relation, but more down to earth, like maybe the Chinese approach, like, this is me, who are you, what is that you want in life, what is that I want in life, and can we really come to terms, so in order to not waste time as before romanticizing just the relationship. Maybe that is what also happens to him or her. She just wanted to romanticize the thing, but she was somehow, maybe in the bottom of her heart or herself, her intuition told her that guy was not for her. So although many can be like, oh, she's a fool, la la la, I am really, as a woman, guessing she knew this and she didn't wanted to accept, although she also maybe loved him, but not to the point of accepting him as husband. And we cannot blame them. Like, it's so very hard, whenever you are in a relationship, you are in a system with that one person, you don't want to let them go, or you don't want to just lose them, but they are not for your future. Like, they are not the one to share the rest of your life with. So I guess this woman might be crying, not that over the fact that she missed out, but over the fact that she is 38, and all the comments that are pouring about no one will like her or love her, as well as perhaps, who knows, the article doesn't state how many months or years they have been together previous to that, the divorce she had. So perhaps it's just very little time, and it's not for us to judge, because whenever someone gets divorced, it's obvious that they want to heal, and they don't want to rush things. We don't know if this man was urged to get married, so therefore he was just kept proposing, because it's also very weird, once you propose once or twice, you kind of speak with the person and you say, I'm not gonna propose until you feel ready, you tell me, and then we can just arrange both our wedding. It's just very strange from my side that he kept proposing knowing that she was rejecting, or also the idea about him not understanding her fully, that she came from a previous failed marriage and she didn't feel safe enough to go into marriage, not knowing the time frame that they have been dating. This can also appear as very needy. Let's say they have been dating for 3 months, 6 months. In China, it's quite common. Then you will say, like, I'm totally a supporter of her side. Like, it's just very little time. He's just so desperate. Why was he doing that? Continuously pushing her to do something she was not ready, or she didn't feel like, because she was still healing, although she somehow loved him or was enjoying the time. She wanted to take her own time, it's not the same. So the article might be a little biased as when it comes to like saying the woman missed the chance, but it doesn't really state how long they dated for or when was the woman divorced. So therefore we cannot really make a very precise judgment about it, since we know for a fact that in China men are very needy and urged to get married. So this wouldn't surprise me that he might be the one freaking out about the whole thing of getting married without her being ready. And therefore, he will just break out with this girl and just follow another one that could substitute her actual, supposedly, love of his life to get married with, which also is kind of very strange because he was just in need of getting the title of husband, maybe pressured by the family, society, etc. So I hope, hopefully you get what I mean, and it's very, it's just freaky, you know, it's just very strange. And once again, the whole burden goes on the woman for not accepting whenever she didn't want whatever he wanted because she didn't feel like it. And she being portrayed as a loser and as a leftover. Yeah, and now he's a winner because all of a sudden, from one day to another, he just proposed and get married to another woman like that fast.